giving the directions, those from the faculties and all that. Then going back to the idea of helping out the equipment, when we pass through the chemical and petroleum, I just look at some of my colleagues. We started engaging some of our chemical engineering class within this 92 club. Irrespective of whatever 92 club is going to do, what are we going to do as chemical engineering graduates? You understand? So, I mean, if you come into what you're saying, you cannot do chemistry, you need that, you know, for us on the front level, focus on something global that can interact with factors, why stay within these hospitals? These protocols still go in individually. The electrical people, civil people, you can still go into your various department and still find out what you can still do to help your individual decision, and you still come back. It's for the electrical engineering class of the institute. The glory still comes to us. At the end of the day, we will be able to do more. So I would like to expand that, because we already started discussion on that. And I like the other article also key. That's where you cannot go into when you go to the industrial chemistry. You don't necessarily need to come and get involved in the general class. Take care of it. You start from the known to the unknown. At least you've done something like this global. By the time you finish those ones,
and then, you know, having ascertained that, we will know what we can carry on, you know, Marie pursue, or the first things we can, you know, start with the landscaping of the place. You know, we start with that. If we see that we can, in addition to the landscaping, we can also, like the doc has said, we can, you know, fund some of those equipment for the laboratories. Yeah, fine. But the key thing is we need to know what and what we want. Let's see if we can take one on board or we can take two. So as we speak, what is clear is that one, the surrounding or the landscaping or the infrastructure, the ambience needs an improvement. Two, the students as well need some, you know, need to up the standard of the equipment they need for learning. So let's see how we can empower, you know, carry those two on board depending on the cost. And if we see that we cannot, then let's, you know, between the equipment and the infrastructure, let's see which one we can take on board. Thank you. That's my submission.
Okay. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, sir.
God bless you. My reg number is 1697.
It's too long.
Oh, my thing.
Well, I haven't listened to so many. That new one will never enter here. So, the discussions have been very interesting. But having listened to everyone, I would want to broadly categorize most of what I said here into two areas. One is our intervention that will be managed by the school. The other is our intervention that will be managed by us. Yesterday, I was privileged to sit with the woman, I think Tony was there. She elaborated the main areas of need, including that environment. She said that the tractor there, the mower, they said they have already priced it. They say it's about 3.5 million. Tony, you were there. So, and that environment issue really touched me. I told Obareke, see, this is an area we can really intervene to get them a tractor that will help to clear those bushes. But again, recall that I said there are two areas we can intervene. The ones that are to be managed by them. You cannot convince me that that institution has no tractor. Now, to buttress my point, the vehicle we were in, Tony observed that the brake system had gone bad and the rubbing iron to iron. Now, I'm privileged to be in such bureaucratic systems. I was telling Tony that the challenge of getting 5,000 naira out from a bureaucratic system is so huge that the time that the process comes through, there will have been more damages that will now be, instead of 5,000, it becomes 20,000. And then another process goes back for the balance of the 15,000, and the facility continue to decay. That is the reality of our existence. So now, now I'm landing. So what I'm trying to address our minds to the reality of the existence of the tragedies that characterize our institutions. Now, we now look at it from that perspective. What do we do? Hand over the same equipment to the same institution that will dilapidate over the next 5 years.
3 years.
It's a need, very serious need. Then, in that area,
Reserve these seats for your manifesto.
oh no, let me land. Let me land. So, the area of environmental issues, we can take care, but these are the issues. Then the other area of our own direct intervention, I have said earlier that the best thing we can do, because we are the best managers that this country can ever produce, it's better we begin to put things that we manage ourselves. So we may also be taking in that direction, but as for me, I had suggested previously that we set up an endowment that we will set up board of trustees for. We set up that fund, we manage it ourselves. We choose people who give scholarship. Initially, if you set up an endowment, you seed it. Then after some time, the seed will grow and there will be return on investment. After which you set up a board of trustees to manage that fund and be reporting to the rest of the house. So gentlemen, that's
Thank you.
That's what I want to say. So, in respect of the lawnmower, right? The lawnmower they had, which broke down, perhaps, I don't know, woman told me maybe like 2 years ago, or a year ago, is the one that we saw in FUTO. So, I'm trying to talk about maintenance here. They have maintained it. They have maintained it for that long.
End of life.
Yeah, so at this lifestyle. So, lawnmowers they can maintain it even if you buy them one now for another 20 years. It is the quality of what we buy for them that will determine how long it will last. That's what I wanted to say.
okay, so thank you very much.
That's a good one.
If you remember when one of them was speaking, he said that during our time, we had enough space, classrooms and equipment for everybody. But that now, we have institution whereby they have like 500 people to use facility for 100 people. I don't know if you heard that.
Yes.
Now, what came to my mind was that during our time, we also had equipment was meant for 10 people, that 50 people were used to use. So the system has not changed. It is worse. So that's why I'm talking about engaging them in a way to make them know that the direction in which they are going is not okay. If we don't do this, most of the things we are going to do, I don't know how it's going to work. The mentality is different. We need to let them know that the direction in which the school is going, if we need to plot a chart and show it to them physically, that this is the direction in which the school is going. It is going down. And if you want us to get involved, you need to turn this thing, let it start pointing upwards. If we find it pointing upwards, then we are encouraged to key into it. Nobody wants to jump into a ship that is sinking. That's my honest opinion.
It was as if she was not interested. Then when we were leaving, I saw two at the gate. Now, let me make a point. Tractors are not bought specially for agriculturing and mowing. These are just the attachments. So, if those tractors were hired, were they really hired or belongs to FUTO? If they were FUTO's tractors, all we need is just the attachment for mowing.
No, that's if they are working.
They are working. They are working because they just did the farm towards the gate.
They just finished harrowing.
That's the office of the wife.
One house.
Okay, so what we are saying,
Audience.
if the tractor
We listen to you, you listen to other people.
that one engine, can't we buy engine? Because you would, like Obina rightly said, we need to engage them. They need to up their maintenance culture.
Okay.
Please,
Okay,
my name is.
can I say something?
Please, hold on. Yeah, my name is Susan Ochpoemeka, EE, 87J. Just in reaction to Guru. Just in reaction to what Obina keeps saying, we need to engage them, I think our alumni president has made it very clear. Don't engage those people like that. It's an institution. Even though we are here thinking about how to remedy the ugly situation we saw there yesterday, as far as they are concerned, that is their comfort zone. You can't just influence them because they are liberty to accept their assistance or ignore their assistance. So I think the best option is this idea of now having somebody from alumni in the council. That's the only way you can engage them. But for now, what can we do? Talking of engaging them, you can't do anything in that direction. And from the consensus here, and everybody is talking about this tractor. Because the first thing when you get into that university is how unkept that university is an eyesore. A terrible eyesore. So I wonder how they are screened under that kind of environment. For somebody like me, I won't feel comfortable walking around in the night. So I think most of us seem to be into the idea of this creating an amiable environment for people. So let's narrow this our discussion to provision of that tractor or whatever to make that place look better.
Thank you very much. Let's try. From what the President said earlier, we have to talk about what we need to do for our institution, or we need to do to ourselves. I think we have talked enough on what we have to do for the institutions. No. I'm not summarizing. Okay. You are the President. So what I'm saying in essence that we cannot continue to talk and talk and talk. We understand what the problems the institutions have. We understand what we can do for the institutions. And like we have some people have said, and I understand is the true position, this is an institution. We cannot engage them easily. And I also want to remind us of the politics in an institution like this. Even when the woman spoke, I understood a little of the politics involved. When the DVC spoke, I understand even his body language was the other DVC. You understand? And towards the VC and the VC's wife. That was why I asked the question earlier. Do we have the office of the VC's wife in FUTO? I said no. So now, engaging with these guys now, it's not good, yeah? Okay.
There is office of
okay, unofficial anyway. Okay, so let's leave that as complex. Yeah. The guy did not want to know whether things are working in FUTO or not working. He came there, did his own, getted it and invested that. The presence is there any day. If you like, let's order things in FUTO dilapidate. So if you come to FUTO, like everybody saw, the encroachment everywhere. So for me, the people that are somebody that said that we should work on landscape, I think that's the most right thing we should do. The other things that I have, what I have, that's about landscaping. What I had wanted to suggest before he came up with that was a virtual library. Since we have edifices there that are not in use, you understand? We use one of those spaces, create a virtual library, and then maintain it. The third thing that the second thing I would have wanted us to do also, since they complained about encroachment, if we can do plant trees along as much as we can along the boundary of maybe 3 farms using to defend 3 pumps along the boundaries. Go down. These are the important. More importantly, since people are doing things politically, we should also do things politically. Our presence must be felt. If you go there to buy one equipment that is going to get back in a few years, or equipment that is going to be hidden somewhere there, they have told us that they have so many equipment that even the technologists cannot use. Just like when you go to our works and go to the Nepal station, there are so many transformers that are not in use. People lack transformers, but they have transformers stuck there over the years. So let us concentrate on the environment. Thank you.
Are you 3 minutes after?
I'm interested about maybe us going back to look at what they have trying to do. But I think that what will make sense really is to buy out whatever one wants, buy the best of the equipment in the market, and maybe if you can put a service contract in place for that equipment for the period, we do that. That's for the travel. I think too it will be in place if we even buy the smaller ones too, because I think I discussed one of the issues for the student work scheme, you know. Right now there's a need to have a student work scheme in place for those who are indigent to be able to do certain work and earn some money. And the university already has a scheme in place where they pay 10,000 to the student. Now we're not sure what they get to do, you know, to earn that money. There's a limited number of persons that are participating in that scheme. So we discussed with the school to expand that scheme. And part of the way we can engage those students is to say, okay, there are lawnmowers, we mow a certain square meter per month or whatever to earn that income. So probably if you have smaller ones to which you can use to mow some certain areas, not the large areas, then those students will be assigned those places, you know, and that's the kind of work to do and to earn that particular distance. Whether we can work or whatever, but they must do some work to earn that support, because some students are very important. And there must be some kind of framework to provide the work skill. It happens everywhere. So that's.
I'm not just sure that knowing law is an intellectually stimulating exercise for somebody. Unless you just want the person to be in school, if that's your objective. But if I'm doing a student work scheme, I want to look at things that will enhance their intellectual. But not just
so that's not correct. People work in shops, school.
That's for indigent future audience.
All these ideas, and I know you are all well intentioned, and good suggestions. Let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that I still believe that if the system is a romantic form, what I mean is this: if the fundamentals are wrong, no matter what you do, you can't work. We have a works department. If you buy a tractor today, give it 6 months, they will not change the oil, you will see it pass.
They will sell the part inside the department.
You understand? Buy a lawnmower today, give it 6 months, half of them will miss. Well, if there's anything that will give me pleasure, and I like being blunt, that's probably part of the problem I have with a lot of people. Let us give feedback to the university management about our disappointment with the way they have managed infrastructure and everything in the school. First and foremost, they can expel us and not have us come to their place again. But we have done something that will even yield more food than all these things we are talking about. We have a work department. We have center of excellence. Look at the type of building we are seeing there. So, I will contribute because of FUTO 92 in anything, no. But believe me, I don't have faith to make any money.
Okay. I see. I will remember guidance. You see, I don't know where we're going if we don't have a gap or something like a budget of what we think we want to spend. If we have that, be able to know where we're going. Do we have that already?
No, we don't.
We say we want to spend maybe 15 million. Because we are talking about tractor. When somebody said tractor is between 9 and 15 million. Depends on the kind of No, are we going to buy something that we don't need? But what I'm trying to say, if we have that money, we need to now say, okay, this can do, this cannot do, this can do. That is the only thing.
No, I understand. You understand? You know. So we don't have all day here, guys. AJ, you and the we don't have all day. If we had all day or all week, we would have probably continued the celebration. And if it comes to fisticuffs, we'll also try and do it. And settle it like National Assembly. And then, of course, we'll finish up and then maybe get a resolution that will probably be half-baked, either half-baked or stupid, after the fisticuffs. But we're not like them. We have to move forward. There's something I want to say about this issue of what's it called, engaging the university community. We must consider this from the perspective of our environment. We are in a country where so many things don't work, right? Everybody builds his own fiefdom or enclave and becomes the lord and master in that place. There was a meeting we had last year where the former VC was around. Yeah? Sylvester, you were also there. That alumni conference and all that. You know, the way the VC came in, it is not any different from the way a governor comes in.
Because
Yeah. You know, I mean, it may not be the size of enterprise, but the way and manner they use is different. You know what I mean? That to me was shocking. Because I didn't see that sort of whatever. When we were in school, the way Aman Luka used to come in there, he would just basically drive to that place. Sometimes he walk from his office by himself and come in. You understand? Things have changed, my brothers and sisters. Things have changed. It is not just the university. What you see there is probably excellent compared to what you see outside. If truth be told. Do you understand what I mean? So we should put these things in the perspective that it is. Yeah, things are really bad in this country, and some of things they copy now from the outside and go to the inside. Yeah, so some things they copy from the outside and go to the inside. You know, go to the inside. In fact, that particular meeting we were talking about, I was speaking to one professor. I won't mention the names. And some of them are older ones who had said something about. There seemed to be some problems that time with that particular VC and those professors. Even though he acknowledged them at the high table, there was a way they shook hands. You will see the obvious politics playing out in your very eyes. And there were people who were not students, of course, alumni and other people who came for that meeting. You know, those things happen. There are camps and all sorts of stuff. So engagement is not an easy thing. Yeah. We're speaking grammar here, talking about engagement. And that engagement is not an easy thing. Before we can engage, in my view, right, we must show ourselves stakeholders by doing something in the school. Then you can just stand and say, look, this project is ours. You can't run it the way you are running your own things. You understand? As we are contributing, other people from other classes and alumni will also be contributing. The population, so those that okay, if you can establish more centers of excellence, if you like, or if you like, lights around the school, right? With our projects, then collectively they will make more sense. You understand? That's what I think. That's why I think where engagement comes and starts from. It doesn't start from talking to them first. They will buff you and say, what stake have you in this school? Since you graduated, how many times have you been here? What have you done? So we have to start from this engagement, no matter how small. No matter how small. You understand? Make the impact and start them gradually to engage. And that will make sense.
Engagement does not mean that you want to rubbish them.
No, I understand.
Engagement does not mean that you're coming with a negative attitude.
Okay, I understand.
We're trying to let them know that the school is going down. I said it's wrong. Is that a problem?
Guys, let me I'm trying to run up here. They don't understand that things are running down. I mean, they know this thing. You understand? If you were in our bus, when we were talking yesterday, that guy was telling us some things about their business model, right? That's their business model. You know, I mean, I do strategy. It don't make sense to me. Do you understand? Because it detracts from the objective of the organization, of the institution itself. Institution it should be for academic excellence. You understand? Yes, research excellence, those kind of things, not to generate IGR or any such things. You understand what I mean? There are all sorts of mindsets that are wrong. You know, so
that is what we need to change.
I know. We need to change that.
Change it by being part of the system,
According to you, they know that things are going down. But when they interface with us, they give us the impression that things are okay. We need to let them know that we also know that things are going down.
Nobody tell us.
There's no harm.
Nobody tell us.
No,
they tell us. Even that yesterday, you cited the example where the man said that the equipment that was supposed to be for 100 students, that 1,000 are using it, or 500 are using it. They know that things are not happening.
But they are doing the IGR thing, that's what is causing the problem.
They want to get money to that. Hold on. Guys.
Get to work.
People, hold on.
One house.
Chico, chicken.
No, he cannot. No. He cannot.
Hold on there. The Inco Rottweiler. You want to make him bite him, or got?
All right, okay. So we're going to guys, please now. So the process of that engagement, we'll go through that part. For what has been said, there has been a lot of good suggestions. Charles, we're not starting from budget because we want to assess the need first to see out of those needs. We will then choose based on the capacity that we think we have. You understand what I mean? And it doesn't have to, we don't want to do something that we cannot also do. So we have to have budget in our heads. Yeah? But it is important to check what the needs, what the need of the university is, to assess the entire needs, and then, and pick some of them, and then, start doing the, what's it called, BOQs and blah, 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 and start looking at them. You understand? Hey, we're not talking anymore. He came late, so don't worry about it. We're not talking again. So for us,
it's an academic exercise.
It's not.
It's not. The require spend time talk.
It is not an academic exercise. It is not an academic exercise.
Please.
A lot of people have talked about landscaping, keeping the entire environment clean. Because there's something to say about the food. If food is not appealing to your eyes, you wouldn't want to eat it. The school, the way it is. I told somebody in our boss, it looks like a microcosm of our macrocosm, the general environment. You understand? It is like the nation. Look at the billboards. The school doesn't have standardized signposts for their schools, for instance, or to point people to various places. Those are things that are simple that can be done. You understand?
That's what we should do.
That's part of this we do.
Landscape and direction.
The general signage and ambience of the place. So if you want to do all that era, I think it's not as simple as you think, but it is starting point to engage.
And it's something you can control.
It's very simple that can be done, and it makes immediate impact.
And it's something that stays.
You understand? So we'll look at that landscaping side and also the long and see how that would will come up to, and then we'll perhaps go do some costing on it and table it at MPH. And communicate to everybody, so that we'll also do that engagement, but it won't be something that will take too long. We don't want something that we would do that will take us for another 1 year or whatever. Yes, this homecoming to be a live too.
From what you are saying, you're only looking at the landscaping
and the cleanness of the environment.
Let us start with that.
I was listening
the things that
started from what the majority of the people. No, I was saying what the majority of people talked about. You understand? I'll list like 2 or 3 projects or 2 or 3 things that we're going to be looking at. You understand? That's one of the ones.
Go ahead.
Yes. We should do.
It's going to be huge.
Okay, so let's say the landscaping one.
And signage.
And then the mower thing.
I think we should do landscaping.
Signage. Okay, landscaping and signage. Yes. Yeah. And then the mowing equipment, or whatever you want to call it. That's one. The other one is that I'm interested in those equipment. Because I remember problems that we had even going to access computer lab in our time and other things. You understand? Even the workshop, you wait for somebody to use the device. The device and not the device before you can go and do it. If it was scarce in our time, imagine how it will be now. Those things are important. It makes direct impact on learning, and I think it's important that we look at all those ones as well. You understand? We can start with a particular lab, yeah, and just move gradually like that. You understand? So, guys, great things.
Yeah, I would recommend that we give 7 years ago, mobilized money, we bought 10 PCs for my department. We gave them books worth about $4,000. I shipped those things. We gave them about 80 petroleum engineering journals. 2 years after, we can't find anything. Nothing is there today. The point I'm making is all this big, anything we can handle on our own and get it done, let's forget it. They're not there. So please, what I think is forget the mower. Let's do the landscaping. To me, that's key. Let's do the street signage. Let's think about street signage.
Yeah, standardized signage.
Standardized signage that somebody can drive into FUTO and find his way. Today, it doesn't exist. So let's think about that, and maybe one more project. Let's think of something else.
So so many years ago, when these are alumni groups, street lighting using solar system, I think it's still a veritable project. Till tomorrow. One of the problems they have, hold on. One of the problems they have in that place, do you know that a lot of students get raped in that street? You don't hear them. You don't hear them. Students, they don't walk around in the night anyhow.
Even boys.
You understand? You understand? Because the place is so wide and bushy. There's no light anywhere.
A male student told me that once it is 7 o'clock.
Please, information.
This one is an inside information.
Yes, please.
They said they will now look into it and see what they can do. So that by the time somebody tries just mere touching on before you now start doing that, there will be an alarm because their security system is really, really bad in FUTO. They even go burgling, stealing from departments and all that, and offices in FUTO. So the security situation in FUTO is very, very bad. So please, these are and when they go to this people have given them a proposal when this bill is again for and branding. We think that we can improve
Ladies and gentlemen, so I have itemized statements. We'll also look at this solar thing again, but it may not be a major priority. We'll prioritize them and put it down on MPH for us. We'll take 2 and go and do POK on and come back to you, right? Yes. That's what we'll do. Yes. You understand? So we'll just, wait.
Landscaping. You do landscaping. That's the point.
No.
I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. Because it won't be visible when it just comes out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I align with Tony.
I understand. That was why I was talking about the mower and the landscape.
Environment. If they cannot cut grass,
It's not that. Let's assist. We want to intervene.
What kind of assistance? Let me ask you. Does anything prevent us if we try to talk to them and we challenge
This one wants us to face this.
You will take that, you will get the cost. And signage, right? When we sell landscape, it's a big gamble.